Hello everyone, Steve from Crooked Tree Woodworking. Haven't done a YouTube video in a long time, mostly because all I have is my phone to shoot the videos. I don't have a good camera. I did get a GoPro, which someone suggested, but the sound was lousy. Needed an extra speaker, extra microphone or something. Anyway, videos of your work and what gets your juices flowing. I know for me, it's not a constant thing. There are times when I can pick up and do my sculpture or art or painting and do it well, and it just flows. And almost as though somebody threw a switch, it shuts down, and I can't really even force it. It has to be just right. So I've always found that to be weird. If that happens to you as well, I'd really like to know about it. If someone knows why that might occur, I'd really like to know about that. The other thing I like to do in my work is reuse, repurpose. Upcycle is a popular term today. And for me, it's mostly lumber, although metals and ceramics and other things as well, but mostly wood because I'm a carpenter and that's what I work with. That's my medium. And I get to places where I can find stumps and throwaways of lumber that I can use to create new things. The most recent experience happened when a big tulip poplar tree blew down behind my home. We had a lot of really high winds this summer, and this tulip poplar was huge. I'm thinking maybe 80 feet, and it snapped off about 12 or 14 feet above the ground. So when I lose trees in the back behind the house, I usually like to take a little piece of it and turn it into something. And I know that in losing a tree, that's part of nature's way of reusing and repurposing and upcycling. The tree comes down, it begins to rot. It creates fungus and bacteria that's beneficial. Small insects go in there, which provide food for birds. Smaller animals move in there and it provides shelter, and it slowly degrades, and bacteria and fungus grows on it, and it goes down into the soil and provides new nutrients for the forest to continue to operate. Mother Nature might be the biggest upcycler and most efficient upcycler that we've ever seen, although most times for her it takes many, many years. Getting back to the story, a tree blew down. Our new puppy Hazel and I were walking out in the woods, and I grabbed a branch of it and brought it back to the shop. Many times when I do this, I pick up a branch from a fallen tree just to create something out of it, just because it makes me feel like I gave that tree a little more purpose. And it usually does wind up on the lathe. No, not bowls. And this is not criticism by any means. If you like turning bowls, keep rocking it, man, because it's really cool. But for me, it becomes rather monotonous. And that's not just a turning thing. That's everything I do. Once I've done something, I don't really feel like doing 10 more. Once I figured something out, I'm like, what's next? What can I do next? So when I do go on the lathe with those pieces, I usually do some kind of offset turning or hollow vessel or something that swings around and shakes and wobbles and gets your ass cheeks to pucker a little bit while you're turning it. As a matter of fact, I used to teach a course at the shop I graciously installed at my expense in 9 years of my life's work at the Goggle Works Center for the Arts. And the course was entitled Beyond the Basic Bowl. That is a whole nother story. I should do a YouTube video about how those people ripped off the individuals that installed that shop for them to abuse and use. So the piece was in the shop. Back to the story. And at the same time that piece was in the shop, a young artisan friend of mine decided to build a bunch of very artful and creative birdhouses. And it was so many that he hired a day worker. I think he went down to 4th and Penn or Lowe's or something and hired a day worker to help him work on these birdhouses. That motivated me. That's one of the things I'm talking about. Another artist helped me think of another idea rather than just going on the lathe. Well, how cool would it be for this piece of wood to be a birdhouse and kind of serve the same purpose, provide shelter for woodland animals? And I thought I would just take the branch and hollow out the back, drill a hole in it, and then put kind of a roof on it of some type. But anyway, as I thought about it, more ideas came. I thought about the tree itself and what it went through in its life. And I mean, the tree was probably 100 plus years old, I'm sure. And this piece of a branch was hanging out up there for that 100 or more years, softly blowing in the wind, getting cooled with the rain on its back, squirrels running up and down its back, giving it a foot massage, all the birds and things, and just living life large, just floating back and forth in the wind and enjoying life. So for 100 years of good life, I guess like all of us, trees get old too. Things start to wear out, things start to break down, and it became a little weaker. It didn't bend and blow with the breeze as much anymore. And when that big storm came, it came tumbling down. So I got this picture of this branch coming down face first, going, kind of one of those put your head between your legs and kiss your butt goodbye moments, and crashing to the ground. So that was my first thought. I was going to make it like a screaming face tumbling down from the treetops, 100 feet up, 80 feet up, 70 feet up. And I would hollow it out at the mouth and hollow out the inside of it. And then that would be the birdhouse. But the idea continued. Oh, the other part that drove the idea of the face was this looked like a nose to me. So that was part of the creative process. Initially, I didn't have any intention of putting arms on it, but then there were these two ingrown branch spots. And here was a little wart on his chin. So those ideas were all afterthoughts as well. So I went out in the woods with Hazel again. We like to go out in the woods. She eats deer shit and I walk around. And I picked up two branches that seemed to be about the right size. They were bent like it would be elbows and had smaller branches coming out that could be hands. And I thought, cool, this will be neat. It'll give him some arms and hands to also indicate the long fall down through. While I was carving, I began to think, well, these branches are probably going to dry out and break and not last very long. And then I walked past a box of wire that I stripped out from a kitchen job and saved. I save wire and things sometimes because I like to upcycle and I don't like to throw it away. And I thought I could twist them around and make branches that would last a long time, do well in the weather. And anyway, there they are. So, and again, I was in the middle of making them and I thought, how many people are going to get the same image as me of this tree branch plummeting to earth at God only knows what speed in the middle of a big windstorm and understand why it's screaming? Back to my friend who gave me the original motivation to do this. His day worker was a very creative man, and he decided to show him how to put a little pecker on the bird houses. So I thought, man, not a bad idea. I'll put a little pecker on it, and people will understand that the tree branch is screaming because a little pecker is hitting at its head, and the arm can look like it's trying to grab it away. So again, my idea, motivation and creativity came in. And really, at that point, I stopped. I said, okay, enough. You know, you're thinking too much. You have other projects going. That's another problem I have. I constantly have 2, 3, 4, 5 projects going. I start something because I find that piece that's cool, think of a use for it, start it. Then I have to go to work to earn money to pay my property and school taxes or my health insurance, and it sets aside. And during that time period, I start another project because something else turned me on. And then I start another project for, you know, kind of the same reason. And initially that very much frustrated me. But in the end, I began to realize when I put this away and came back to it, I got more ideas. I got other ideas of how to do things to it. And maybe there was a misshapen eye or something, the proportions just didn't look right. And when I put it away for a while and came back and said, oh, I can see what's going on there. So I found that actually my frustration turned into, hey, I'm okay with this. I'm going to put things aside, give them a rest, come back with a new eye, and see what I come up with. So that's the story of my birdhouse. It was quite a process. The actual working time didn't take too long, but it did take months to complete because, like I said, life gets in the road. Somebody has to pay the bills, at least in my case, and you know, and most of yours, I'm sure, too. And this is the place where I decided that Tremont would spend the rest of his life. He's getting a second chance to get out and be with the birds in nature, serve a purpose and a home. That repurposing thing just blows me away, just blows me away. I don't know what else to say, but please, 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 give me some comments. Tell me what your ideas are, because I want to grow and I want to learn about the creative process. And I'm not a schooled guy. I'm just a carpenter, and I know there are a lot of artists out there that went to school and things like that, and they probably explain that to you there. I'm afraid I never really had time for school, and quite frankly, this is going to sound stupid too, I really do like to stumble around and figure stuff out for myself. So, Tremont, I hope you get some tennis before too long. Thanks all for listening. If you stuck it out, I appreciate it. If you didn't stick it out, that's cool too. You might not be interested, and I might have rambled on too much, but would sure like to hear some comments. Thank you.